U.S. report on genocide and atrocities prevention has conveniently ignored Indian atrocities and occupied Jammu and Kashmir. It predominantly targets Washington's chief competitor, Beijing, while turning a blind eye to New Delhi. The State Department's report to Congress blacks out the killing of over 80,000 Kashmiris by Indian troops. The department previously noted the suppression and persecution of Kashmiris by Indian troops. But its report does not reflect that stance, which is shared by the UN and other international human rights bodies. China and Russia recently blamed the U.S. for misusing human rights to exert political pressure on rivals. In a recent interview, Pakistan's Prime Minister Imran Khan also questioned the West's total disregard for human rights in Kashmir. For more on this, we have with us Mr. Inar Tangan from Beijing. Thank you so much for speaking to Indus News. Now, Mr. Tangan, the United Nations has repeatedly pointed out the atrocities and oppression by Indian occupation troops in Kashmir. Human Rights Watch and Amnesty International have pointed out a clear pattern of genocidal behavior of the Indian troops. Why does the U.S. choose to completely black out Kashmir in its report on genocide and atrocities prevention?
Unfortunately, we have a tendency to project the sins that we have done on others when it is convenient. And by that I mean that when it is inconvenient, we do not. The fact is, it was not only Kashmir that was not mentioned, Afghanistan, Israel, Palestine, Iraq, Syria. What's happened in Canada, the revelations in the U.S., voter suppression, there was no attempt to even look inward. So it's hardly surprising that this kind of one-sided view of human rights.
Mr. Tangan, American government's own State Department pointed out that the suppression and persecution based on religion by Indian troops in occupied Kashmir. How can the same government hold two different conflicting positions on the same issue?
We live in an age of what I call post-hypocrisy. If Donald Trump was post-fact, right now, Biden just doesn't seem to understand that you cannot say that you're leading the world in a moral manner when you are completely overlooking issues like Kashmir. I mean, it's, as I said, hypocrisy.
Mr. Tangan, so does this not badly damage the United States' credibility regarding its position of being the global flag bearer of human rights?
Absolutely, along with the other issues that I mentioned earlier. I mean, this goes to the heart of the matter. How can you be pretending to say that you believe in the rule of law, that you are interested in the tragedies happening around the world, when they're not only do you ignore the ones that aren't politically convenient for you, but you're ignoring the very ones that are happening within your own country.
Mr. Inar Tangan, thank you so much for speaking to Indus News.